Hello, everyone. Welcome to another special edition of Birminology on Lettermen Row. I'm your host, Jeremy Birmingham. This is Ohio State commitment Luke Wypler, Ohio State's 2020 center commit from St. Joseph's Regional High School here in Montvale, New Jersey, which is where we sit. The Buckeyes are in town for Saturday afternoon game with Rutgers. We figured we'd stop in and say hi to Luke. So, Luke, thank you for taking the time.
Thank you for coming. Great to have you here.
Last time we talked to you on an episode of Birminology was right after you committed, essentially. Your summer had been sort of I don't want to say wasted, but spent rehabbing and recovering from a shoulder surgery that you had last offseason. How has the senior year for you gone to your expectation, to what you wanted this to be?
For me, having the last spring and into the summer, kind of rehabbing and focusing on my shoulder, getting back to being healthy. Not really being able to practice in June and July, kind of just having to be like walking through things and kind of being more of a coach than I was a player because I wasn't able to be practicing. So I was more helping out the young guys, the guys that were filling in for me, get everyone accustomed to the offense and some of the nuances that we were doing that was different from the past years. So for me, just being able to be there with the team and being able to kind of take a step back and almost like teach other guys what to do almost made me a better player. What they always say, like when studying in school, if you're able to teach what you're doing, it's only going to make you more proficient. And that was the case for me all summer. And then coming to my senior season, we started off in California with a big win over J. Sierra. And then we came back to New Jersey, and our whole plan was to win out in New Jersey. That was our whole philosophy. And we had St. Francis come up from Maryland or Baltimore there. And that was a tough loss for us, of course. I mean, they're one of the best teams in the country. And they have great players all over the field. But at the end of the day, you always you either lose or learn, and that's one of my favorite sayings. So we took a tough loss there, and we came back to our in-state rivals. We lost a tough one to Don Bosco and Jalen Berger a few weeks back, and then we had a few kids hurt, and we lost a tough one again to Seton Hall Prep, and they played a great game as well, and they got the best of us that day. And so ever since then, we've been on a roll.
But you're in the playoffs. Your game is tomorrow. We're not going to know the results of that because we will when this airs, but we won't know until then. But I think it's interesting this offseason with all the possibilities that could have happened after the surgery on the labrum and that kind of stuff. You could have had a lazy offseason, but you said it seems like you got better just by taking those mental reps and being a part of your program, being more involved that way. This season, you have had to play center, which is what you're going to be playing in college. So in a way, it's probably worked out okay for your career development. But has that been a challenge for you adjusting to playing the center now, or do you think that that's a good thing?
For me, I feel like it's probably the best scenario that could have happened. Playing tackle my whole high school career, past years playing left, the first part of this season playing right, being able to have to learn how to kick lefty, kick righty, and then moving to center where you have to do both ways at any point in the game. All of that has kind of played a major part in this transition, and I feel like playing center, being able to snap and step and all the little things that people don't really think about when you're playing center. You think, oh, it's just a position, you just have to snap the ball. It's not a really big difference. But a lot of the game, seeing the field differently, always being on the edge, being able to see like the safeties, the linebackers. Now being inside, you're kind of IDing the D tackles, IDing the inside linebackers instead of having like a full field view. So, it's a little different, but nothing that I couldn't handle, and I'm pretty happy that I'm there now.
As you think about what happens from here, as you finish up your high school career and start looking at Ohio State, has there been a discussion with the Buckeyes coaching staff about how they think you're best suited to start your career? Because obviously Harry Miller's there, and there's likelihood that Harry is going to be maybe starting next year at center, depending on what happens with Josh Myers and his potential NFL aspirations after this year. Is there a moment or a conversation with okay, so Luke, we maybe start at guard. Billy Price did that. Pat Elflein did that. Michael Jordan did that. Is that something that you see as a benefit, or is that hey, I don't know if I'm comfortable there?
We actually never even had that conversation. I kind of told them when I committed, whatever you guys need me to do, I'm going to do. If I need to play quarterback, if I need to be a kick returner,
punt returner,
whatever I need to do, I'm going to do to be able to get on the field and help this team win. And they kind of took that to heart, and there's been a word about it since.
Now, your recruitment was very interesting, and we talked about that the last time you were on the show. It's just a lot of people, I think, expected that you would end up at Stanford because that was sort of the thought for super smart dudes like you. That's what you do, right? You're an East Coast guy. You're super smart. You go out to Stanford. You own the world.
Of course. Yep.
But your dream school was Boston College.
Yes, it was.
And Boston College didn't recruit you. And Rutgers hasn't talked to you in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Ohio State doesn't need help when you're as a brand, right?
No.
I mean, but isn't it unbelievable that these local schools have taken this approach on an area that's so talent rich? I mean, is that something that you think is exclusive to you, or have you heard the same thing from other kids?
No, I mean, for me, Ohio State was kind of always like you always heard about Ohio State. You watch them on TV,
Right.
You see them play Michigan growing up, and for me, my dream school was Boston College. I grew up playing rugby, something a lot of people don't know, and for me, I was in the Boston area a lot growing up, playing tournaments and doing things like that. And my dad also played rugby for a men's league, so he would always take me up there as a little kid. So I kind of fell in love with the city of Boston, and naturally, Boston College was always like a school that has produced great offensive linemen in their history. My head coach being one of them, Coach Augie Hoffman. So for me, it was always seemed like Boston College was kind of like the route that I was thinking I was going to take. It was always my dream school. Like as a freshman, I didn't really know what I was capable of. I would never have thought Ohio State in a million years was going to be offering me. I was kind of thinking like Boston College, Bentley, Sacred Heart, schools to that nature that would be kind of my directory for my football career. So when Boston College did offer me, but never recruited me too hard, didn't show too much interest, and at the same time, Ohio State was showing me a great deal of interest. Coach Schiano and Coach Meyer at the time were texting me every day and kind of showing me how much they wanted me and how well I could fit at that program. And after I visited, I kind of felt that, oh wow, I can do this here feeling, and I fell in love with it ever since.
Now, there's all this talk about Greg Schiano, right?
Yeah,
Well, let's just segue to that. What do you think happens at Rutgers moving forward if, in fact, Greg Schiano is the guy? And how long do you think it takes for people in your shoes, kids in your area, kids from Jersey, to start to think to themselves, hey, maybe we can do something here?
I mean, I talked to Schiano a few weeks ago, he just kind of called to check up on me and see how things were going, and we just talked for a little while. We never really mentioned Rutgers at all, but with the latest news that I heard coming out that he's having meetings with them and whatnot, if he happens to be that guy at Rutgers, I think that could be the best thing for the program. At the end of the day, Coach Schiano's a great coach. He understands what it means to be from New Jersey and be a New Jersey football player. And for guys like me who are in my shoes that are good football players in the state and want to contribute to something that is close to home and is personal to them, it could happen tomorrow, it could happen in 10 years. You can't really put a timetable on that. But for me, it's the best fit, wherever you feel like home and the best place for you to succeed as a person, as a player.
You decided to commit last summer or this past summer, and
2 summers
ago. I'm sorry.
It's been a while.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
it's been about 16 months
Yeah.
since you committed, which is crazy
Yeah.
now that I think about it. I just lost an entire year of my life. And you made that decision. You'd never been to a game at Ohio State. You finally got to one this season.
Yes.
You and your dad drove over a few weeks ago. What was it like the first time you walked into that? I mean, you've walked down the tunnel at Ohio Stadium. You've been in the stadium. But how different was it for you walking in there and seeing the crowd, hearing the noise, smelling the popcorn, all that stuff?
Oh my God, it was unreal. I remember like almost a pregame, like you kind of walked in, the stadium's not quite filled yet, everyone's kind of warming up, you're looking around, there's a lot of empty seats, and I was kind of thinking, I'm like, maybe like the hype for 100,000 people isn't that real. Like it's the Cincinnati game, I would think like the in-state game, there'd be a lot more people there already. And then you go back into like the locker room here, like the pregame speech and whatnot, and then I remember coming back down the tunnel right before the game started, and the stadium was beyond packed.
Yeah.
Like there's people standing in the aisles. I was mind blown. I remember I was with Paris Johnson, who sat next to me. I had to look up at him, of course, and I kind of said to him like, "This is unreal." And he's been there for too many games to count. And he goes, "Yeah, dude, it gets even crazier than this." And that like kind of first sensation is what I really took to heart, was like that wow factor. It really is tremendous. The fans and how much the Ohio people love Buckeye football.
Is that the only game you get into? Or
yes, that's probably going to be the only game I'll be able to get to.
So one game in your life at Ohio Stadium before you play there.
Yep.
I mean, are you prepared for that shift in scope?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it doesn't really matter who's looking or who's watching. You still got to play football. At the end of the day, you got to score touchdowns and prevent the other team from scoring. So it's very simple. You
told me that one of the things you're going to miss the most is the food here in Jersey.
Of course.
And then the other day you told me that you and Jeff Hafley were going to open a pizza and bagel place in Columbus. Do you have a name picked out for what that's going to be?
Not yet. No, not yet. Probably something very New Jersey. Probably Jersey bagels and pizza. I feel like that's going to be the best sound right there.
Okay, this is where we get weird, right? You're moving to Ohio in a few months.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how to pump your own gas?
Yes, I do.
You do?
Yes.
Is there like a class that they teach you here, like a gas pumping 101?
I think there should be. I think that should be like maybe a high school class, like a senior class. Instead of having like part of maybe the driver's ed curriculum to teach you how to pump gas and do that kind of stuff. Because I've had friends who have gone to gas stations out of state and are either like on skiing trips in like Vermont, and it's just like a bunch of teenage kids, and they pull to a gas station have to figure out.
Everyone thinks they're just being bougie, sitting in the car waiting, like, "Excuse me, sir, can you pump my gas?"
No, they have no idea what they're doing, and they spill gas on the side of the car, the whole nine. So, yeah, it's pretty serious. So that's funny you asked that.
What other adjustments in your personal day-to-day life are you looking forward to embracing, or do you think will be the biggest challenge when you head to Ohio next June?
I think not having a car, honestly, is probably going to be the biggest one. Having to be like...
So you won't even need to worry about pumping gas.
I won't even really have to worry. But yeah, not having a car is probably going to be the biggest one. Because like you're so used to now, you have to go do something. You just get in your car, you drive yourself to that spot, and that's it. You have to go back to like the freshman, sophomore year, or you have to like arrange yourself rides and kind of pre-plan everything. So
you're basically going to be living at the WAC anyway. So you're not going to be doing a lot of
traveling or anything. But yeah, that's probably going to be the biggest thing. Is not having a car.
How close are you, Paris Johnson, Jacob James, Trey LaRue, Grant Toutant, Josh Fry? How close have you guys gotten in the last few months? And is that something that has changed since last time we really spoke?
Yes, I mean, we've gotten even closer, I feel. We all got to meet besides, who wasn't there? I forgot who wasn't at the game the last time. But
I think it was Trey, wasn't
Trey, yes. Trey wasn't there. But the five of us, me, Jacob, Paris, and Josh all got to finally meet in person.
And then Ben Chrisman was there too, the 2020.
And then Ben Chrisman was there too. So we all kind of got to meet and interact with each other and got to see what we're all like in person. Because it's easy to text and kind of get a feel for somebody, but until you really meet them, you don't really know what they're about. So being able to meet all those guys, and that really made us closer to that, like having that day together and hanging out Saturday night, like the dorms with the guys, was kind of a very good experience for us to all be together.
Who's the funniest in that group?
I would think myself, to be honest, yeah.
Do you have a joke?
A joke?
Do you have a joke? Give us what's your best joke?
My simple joke. I don't really have it.
I knew you were gonna back out.
Yeah, I don't have a good joke. I don't have a good joke. I kind of just go with the flow, and whatever happens, I kind of just take off.
You're like observational comedy.
Yes,
you're like Seinfeldian.
Yes, right. Very.
Well, look, man. I know you got to get to your walkthrough. We're gonna let you get out of here. So, for LettermenRow.com, I'm Jeremy Birmingham. This has been Luke Wypler on another on-location episode of Birminology. Thanks for watching, folks. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe below to get the latest videos from Lettermen Row.
We got Letterman Live, we've got the practice report, we got rapid reaction. Hey, and you know we got Buckeye Q with Zach Bourne.
For sure. We got recruiting breakdowns with Berm. We got whatever you need. Ohio State football and Ohio State athletics, we've got you covered here at Lettermen Row.